All right, hello and good evening. 73 matches are done, and now we are left with just one all important final. In about 25 hours from now, the match will begin, and that would be Gujarat Titans versus the Rajasthan Royals. And I'm joined by the great man, Harbhajan Singh. Paji, good evening.
Very good evening, Rahul.
Paji, two best sides in the final.
Well, obviously, yeah, I think they played better cricket than the others, and that's probably the reason they are in the final. Credit to Gujarat. I think they were unbelievable throughout the IPL. With the kind of team they had and the setup, unbelievable. Congratulations to Gujarat Titan. They're playing for the first time in the IPL and playing the final in front of their home crowd will be a big thing. And of course, Rajasthan, they are playing for a cause. And of course, they lost a great man, Shane Warne. And it'll be a great kind of a thing, if they can win the trophy. And that great legend, Shane Warne, wherever he is, he'll be very proud of his team, what they have achieved.
Absolutely. Paji, if I just take you back a couple of months from now, did you actually expect Gujarat to make it to the finals? And same goes for Rajasthan Royals.
I was not really sure if Gujarat can go that far because, if you see, apart from Hardik Pandya, Shubman Gill, Rashid Khan, they didn't have too many players in terms of batting, but they definitely had that bowling which can, get any team out. So I was kind of a bit surprised the way they started their whole thing, and then everyone sort of started to believe that yes, they are the team to beat, and I was also one of them who didn't have so many expectations from them. I thought maybe some old team like RCB or Kings 11 had a very good team. They will probably get into the semis and the finals, but credit to Ashish Nehra, Gary Kristen, Hardik Pandya, who's been leading the team from the front. I think sometime when you get those opportunities like Hardik Pandya got, he became captain. He showed his different colors to it. What he can do, not just as a batter, but he can be a captain going forward for Team India. And this is brilliant to see. The other side of Hardik
Mhm.
Pandya, he could be a leader, not just in a great all rounder for India.
And Bajuba, does it actually help at times when you don't have too many superstars in the team? It is easier perhaps to handle the players.
Well, I don't see there's a problem having superstars in your team. The more superstar you have, obviously you expect them to, you know, come to occasion and do the needful. But whatever uh, team Gujarat had, or even Rajasthan, they didn't have too many superstars, as you're saying, but they had the will to go all the way, and they were not depending on just one player. I can understand Josh Buttler; he's been phenomenal this year. Rajasthan's 80% work is done by Josh Buttler. But I think even apart from him, there was a game when Riyan Parag came to the party, and some of their bowler came to the party, and they won the game. So it's about the team unity, which these two teams have showed that they are together for a cause, and that's probably the reason they are in the final. And happy team is a winning team, and certainly both these teams are looking very happy unit.
Bajuba, of course, I have lots of questions, but this particular segment we have dedicated for our viewers. So we'll take a lot of questions from our viewers also who are
Sure.
joining us live. But before that, if I ask you now, about 24 hours before the match actually begins, Gujarat or Rajasthan, who do you think has the edge?
Well, I think in T20, Rahul, you can't really predict who is going to win and who will lose. It just comes down to those first six important overs, how well you start, and what kind of a rhythm you are playing in. And,
Hmm.
toss will be very crucial, as we have seen in the previous game. In the later part when Rajasthan they were chasing. ball was coming nicely to the bat, and I think whoever will win the toss, they would like to chase. A lot of people say that big game you should bat first and get done with it. But I think chasing would be a great idea, and that's what I think both the team would look to do. I don't know who will be winning the game, but yes, whoever will be winning the toss, they'll have a great chance to get that momentum right.
Bajuba, beneath Mihir Biswal is asking, of course, his question is, did MS Dhoni play better cricket than Virat and Rohit this season? Of course, we are not going to get into MS Dhoni as of now because he is retired, and we should be rather more concerned about Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, who are still in the Indian setup. What do you think may have gone wrong first with Virat Kohli?
Virat Kohli, see, he's been out of form, throughout this IPL. He wasn't connecting the ball. We know that Virat Kohli normally connect, and same goes with Rohit Sharma. They are class player, big players. They have won so many games. Individually, they have done so well, and they have won so many games for India. I was also a bit surprised the way things have gone for both of them. Not scoring too many runs for their team, and that's probably the reason. Mumbai Indians didn't go that forward, and of course with Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, I think they just didn't get going, and it is one of those phases where they tried enough and they couldn't get going.
Bajuba, Virat's problem, is it mental or technical?
See, earlier, technically, I don't think there's anything wrong what he's doing. He's getting out, uh, um, to a spinner, then to the fast bowlers, and 3-4 times he got run out. And technically, fault. When you see, he's getting out to Jimmy Anderson, ball swinging. He's not putting the foot there, and he's just playing away from his body. That's technical part. But he's getting out differently. First over, Suchi came to bowl first
Mhm.
ball, on the leg. He just played a normal shot and he got caught at short mid wicket. That is, somewhere when you that is something when you lose that form. He didn't have that form and he didn't have that
Mhm.
confidence. And of course, he tried enough to get out of it, but sometimes when you try too hard, you actually get too much into it. And the kind of guy he is, I know he'll come back very, very strong. He's someone who actually works really hard when things don't go well for him, and that's something really, really positive. And I think coming months, he'll be doing really, really good for Team India. He'll be scoring runs, and same will go with Rohit Sharma. There is nothing technically wrong. All I feel is, when you're not getting runs, then obviously it plays into your mind, and then you want to score runs, and then you do something different than what you normally do, and that's exactly what happened. Then you keep getting out. You can't really come out of it.
Uh, Bajuba, Scholars Gapfest, if I got his name correct, he's saying the problem with KL Rahul, we've seen him scoring so many runs season after season, but still his team doesn't finish either in the playoffs. This time, Lucknow Super Giants, they were pretty good, but KL Rahul's, in fact, last innings, that knock of 79, couldn't get them through to the finish line. Is there some problem? Because to be precise, his question was Joss Butler uh, is perhaps ahead of KL Rahul in finishing such games.
Well, I think that intent is there with KL Rahul. Obviously, he wants to be there for the team till the end and finish things off for the team. We have seen this pattern over the years. While he was leading Punjab Kings 11, and now also, he's someone. He take a lot of responsibilities when he bats in the middle and he wants to finish things off for the team. But sometime, what happens, and then when you get into that mode, when you feel that I need to do the anchor role and the other guys can come and play those big shot, and that doesn't click, then you're in that space that now what do I do, and you just need to come out of it. I think KL Rahul is a phenomenal player. He's got all the shot in the book, and when he's on song, nobody can touch him, nobody can beat him. He hits sixes for fun, and I think somewhere down the line, I think first six over, he need to change his approach a little bit, and he need to be a little more aggressive. Maybe in the middle overs, he just need to hang around and take those singles, doubles, and I think first six over was the key. When they lost the game, they didn't score too many runs, and then obviously in the end, he
Mhm.
didn't get going. Simple was that.
And Bajuba, uh, yeah, this is Harsh Garg. He's asking one player, one X factor, if you have to pick in tomorrow's game, that would be Gujarat versus Rajasthan. One player, if you had have to pick.
Josh Buttler, I think he's one player, who's actually on a song. He is been brilliant for Rajasthan, doing, 80% of the job for Rajasthan throughout the season, and he would be key for Rajasthan. If he plays those 15 overs, he can change the game, and he can take anyone on. And same goes with Gujarat. If they can get him out, they'll be pretty happy with that.
And Hardik Pandya's captaincy, he's come a long way. I remember, that Coffee with Karan episode that created such a huge furore at that point in time. And today he seemed to be a different person altogether. Captaincy, has it made him better? Is this a new facet as far as Hardik Pandya is concerned that we didn't know about?
Well, of course, nobody actually knew about it. What Hardik Pandya have in store as a cricketer. We knew that how talented he was, and how dangerous he could be. When he's in the middle with the bat for Mumbai Indians. We have seen that finishing those games for Mumbai Indians. But this is the other side of Hardik Pandya. Yes, that controversy happened. We also spoke about it. And of course, I had to go and say sorry to him. Rather than standing by him, and I made some comments, which obviously at that point of time I felt
With
it
me
wasn't
only.
that.
I think
Yes,
I think
yeah.
that
So
was during an interview with
yeah,
me.
so I actually went and spoke to him with him and with KL also.
That's nice.
Whether because I've also made a lot of mistakes, and everyone make mistakes, and that is past. That's gone. Coffee with Karan and whatsoever that program was, that's gone. But proud of these two guys. They have done a commendable job. KL Rahul, he's been a fantastic player for Team India, and Hardik Pandya, he's unbelievable. Leading the team from the front. He's bowling those crucial overs for the team, and how calm he is. He's not like that actually. When you see him, when you meet him, he's
Exactly.
full of energy. But when you see him on the field leading the team, he's very calm, composed. Taking the right decision, leading the team from the front. Batting at number three. That's what shows that he actually cares so much for this team, and this is a great sign for Hardik Pandya and for all the fans, and for everyone, for all of us. That we have another leader in him. If at all, whenever Team India need a new leader, someone, that Hardik Pandya is also one of those contender now. You can look up to him and say yes, he can be India's next captain.
But Juba, the journalist in me is perhaps forcing me to ask you this question. This was Shreyas Iyer. He made a comment recently that the CEO is also involved in selection, although he retracted that. So you've been with KKR. In fact, the last franchisee that you played for, that you were with, that was KKR. Is it only KKR, or does it happen, or is it a normal practice that happens with every franchise?
Well, I don't know why he made that comment, first of all. And if at all CEO is involved with the selection committee or part of the selection, I don't know. If he said so, there might be, few suggestions from the CEO. And of course, everyone feel that this is our team and they have the suggestions. And sometimes they just come and give you the suggestion. There's no harm in it. And I think not just KKR, but I think all the other franchises also, they have all the right to come in and give their suggestions. And obviously, they leave it to the management whether they want to, go ahead with those suggestions or not. But yeah, but that's a very normal sort of practice which happened probably with every team. Everyone have suggestion.
Mhm.
When we play cricket, everyone have their opinion, and why not? The more brain you have, you'll come to some point where you feel this could be a right sort of angle what he's talking. So there's no harm CEO getting involved or anyone else getting involved, because it's their team as well. It's not just
Mhm.
your team captains or managers team. But yeah, I don't know why he made that comment, but of course, I'll leave it to Shreyas and the team management to answer that. But my view is, if I was captain, I'm open to have discussions and see what do you have in mind. I'll probably get the right advice or right idea, which I might not be thinking at that point of time.
And Bajuba, Chennai Super Kings, you won a title with them in 2018. Um Ravindra Jadeja was appointed as their captain, and midway through the season, he had to relinquish his captaincy. But there was some controversy after he quit. He had a side strain and he had to leave the IPL, although the season was more or less over for Chennai Super Kings. But is there more than what meets the eye? Because he was removed,
Oh
or
yes.
was it that he just relinquished? Do you think anybody actually
Well,
gives up captaincy just like that?
well, I think there is much more to it. What we actually know. I don't think Jaddu will leave just captaincy just like that for fun. I think there is something more to it which we don't know. Uh, so I don't really know, Rahul, what has happened there, and I will not be able to comment what exactly has happened. But whatever has happened, it's not good for CSK. It's not good for the franchisee who's helped so much to the players, and I don't know what is the reason, but yeah.
Pajuba, we've seen IPL, in fact, has given Indian cricket and, in fact, world cricket a lot of players. For India, Mohsin Khan uh, came out as a fresh new face and impressed one and all. Uh, how do you see the likes of Mohsin Khan this season? Yash Dayal was another fast bowler. Arshdeep has made it to the Indian team this time. So, how do you see the fast bowling talent that has come up through the ranks?
Unbelievable. So happy to see that Indian pacers are bowling at 140 plus. Someone like Mohsin, you talk about Umran and Arshdeep. I think it's a great sign for India. Having so much of talent in fast bowling, which was never the case earlier for India. So this is great to see so much of talent coming up and performing the way they have performed. It's great to see.
One player, if you had to pick one emerging player, the youngster, uncapped player that we had not seen before, one player, if you had to pick.
I think it got to be Patidar. I think he was brilliant for RCB. He wasn't picked in the auction, and whenever he was called, and after that he didn't look back, and he showed actually what RCB was missing. And yeah, he was brilliant. For me, it got to be Patidar.
And and if I talk about coming back to the final tomorrow, Rajasthan Royals, you said Joss Butler would be their X factor. Uh, does Butler, is he the only man that gives Rajasthan the edge? Because if we see Gujarat Titans, they don't have anybody on the list of leading run scorers. They don't have anybody on that list of leading wicket takers. But as a unit, they have performed well, like a well-oiled machine.
Well, I think not just Joss Butler, but if you look at their bowling, Trent Bolt, he's been brilliant with the new ball, and Yuzvendra Chahal, you can talk about him for a whole day. How well he have bowled. He showed that he's someone who actually bowled like a spinner. Flighting the ball, spinning the
Hmm.
ball, inviting the batsman to come out of the crease, and bowling like a champion. So he's been phenomenal. They're bowling Josh Butler. So I think not just one, but but two people, two guys, you got to be careful. Josh Buttler, Yuzvendra Chahal. I think they were phenomenal for Rajasthan. They are probably the reason Rajasthan is there in the final.
And Bajuba, do you think these are two sides which had limitations, but still they overcame those limitations to make it to the final? Gujarat, if you see, not many gave them a chance to make it to the even playoffs. Now they are in the final. Then you see Rajasthan Royals, always an underdog team, and then performing. This with the way they performed the entire season, one match after match, and they lack that all rounder. They actually have, they don't have an all rounder. So still, despite those limitations, both these teams have overcome.
Well, I think it showed that whatever resources you have to use them well, and these two teams have certainly showed that they have played better cricket than the others, whether you have an all-rounder or not. But their batters have done a great job, and so have their bowlers. And I think both the teams have picked their bowlers uh, very nicely, because they kind of knew that it's the bowler who will come down to that situation when you need those wickets, and they'll win you
Mhm.
the game. And I think both the teams, they don't have all rounder, but yes, Hardik Pandya is an all rounder. But I think with Miller coming in the form, it was a big plus for Gujarat, and so is for Hetmeyer, the kind of season he had for Rajasthan Royal. It goes on to show that you don't really need to have so many all rounder. All you have to do is a good team, a happy team, which can gel together, and those teams will always go forward.
Bajuba, before I let you go, just a few quick questions. Ayush Bhattacharya is saying maybe it's an early call, but do you think Ashwin can be considered as a bowling all-rounder for India, like Ravindra Jadeja, as he is a better bowler perhaps than Ravindra Jadeja, Ashwin?
Well, I don't know. It'll be up to the selection committee. What they feel. Of course, he's got the experience. Who can bowl in power play and take those wickets. But batting wise, I don't know if Team India is actually looking for an all rounder who bowls and bat that to a spinner. Because Jadeja, whatever little knowledge I have is far ahead from Ashwin. When it comes down to T20 format, you know, Jadeja is a proper all rounder. No offense to R Ashwin, he's done really well. He's won few games with the bat as well, and it'll be good. If they pick him. But who knows? If I was a selector, then I would have been able to give you the right answer. Okay, he's in my reckoning. But T20 World Cup, it's in Australia. You have to pick your best spinner. You don't have to pick someone who can bat as well. I think Yuzvendra Chahal, Kuldeep Yadav, these people have done well. Those big grounds, these guys bowling slower in the air will come very handy.
All right, thank you, Bajuba. Thank you very much. May the
Thank you.
best team win tomorrow, and Gujarat, one team that you would want to see win this season. Just the team.
Well, I don't know who's going to win, or if I have to pick one team. Obviously, my friend Ashish Nera's team, I would like to choose. Ashish is there, so best wishes to Ashish and his team. And great Gary Krishnan is also there. And I hope this magic work again, like it did in 2011 World Cup. And I hope they'll come out as a champion.
All right, Bajuba, thank you. Always pleasure
Thank you.
talking to you. Thank you so much, Paj.
Thank you.